Looking forward to those May flowers and getting out in the spring sunshine. So to start this week's Explore Tulsa, we get help looking and feeling our best for the outdoor fun by turning to T-Town's famous wellness expert.
Then we take it to the courts.
Followed by a new way to get your sweet fix.
Plus getting your brew on.
Hi, I'm Stevie Fernandez.
And I'm Trish Whitmer. Good to see you back with us for this week's Explore Tulsa.
Now, when it's not raining, the weather's been pretty good outside for going out and getting some exercise in. I even got a 10-mile run in the other day.
That's great, Stevie, but I also know that you like to drink too much soda and a few other things that aren't really that good for you.
Well, I'm working on that too.
It's a good thing that one of our newest sponsors can really get you on the right track.
Dr. Marc Sherwood really is a guy who practices what he preaches, especially when it comes to whole body wellness.
Anything I've ever done, I've tried to be the best, not in competition with anybody else, but to be the best I can be and push that level, the best up higher.
Always stands on his word, always steps up to help somebody in need. He's always the one that will be the last man standing in any situation. He always shows up.
No, I went to college to play baseball, truthfully. But while there, I got a degree in business and with a minor in management. So it was something that, I knew that I wasn't going to be a professional baseball player for life. So I had to do something. And after college, I actually, tried to play professional baseball for a couple of years and was successful for a while, and realized that the major leagues wasn't part of my future. So at that point, I needed a job. So a friend of mine was on the police department in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I chose to apply, and lo and behold, 24 years later, I was still there. Police work was completely a culture shock for me, coming from small town America, going into bigger city or larger city. The crime and stuff I saw, the poverty, being involved in the housing projects early in my career.
He helps me put a lot of perspective on my life and the things that I think are stressful. Knowing that he literally dealt with life and death situations that were very personal in some points.
To see people die, to see people at their best and their worst, everybody, to see people die, to see them overcome, that changes you. That changes you, big time. It turns your whole world around, because you realize that life is sudden, it's uncertain, and there's evil in the world, and it's real, and it will kill you. And that's something that sticks with me, seeing the faces of death. Yeah, I did every assignment you can imagine, from SWAT team, undercover, detective, internal affairs, street patrol, anything like that you can imagine. I did it, and academy, and it was a great time, great career. Towards the end of my career, I was put in the academy, so I was in charge of a wellness program that we didn't have. In other words, they said, you figure it out and you start it. So I went on a mission, and my mission took me to personal training schools. It took me all kinds of courses, and I just started applying myself and trying to figure out, well, first of all, it started out, why are these men and women I'm dealing with here coming into the department in the best shape of their life, and why are they leaving in the worst shape of their life and dying? And I wanted to kind of unravel that thing, and I discovered stress, I discovered nutrition, I discovered exercise, and that kind of led me on this quest, if you will, to kind of pursue a naturopathic degree. And it sounds like I've changed a career, but I haven't. In a sense, my duties were to protect and serve, but really that's expanded. Try to keep people from hurting themselves, today by doing bad things to their bodies, by putting them in their mouth or putting bad things in their heads. I got a call one day to become part of, or to try out for the power team, and that's the guys that break the bricks and tear phone books, blow up hot water bottles, been still in their teeth, and break large walls of ice with their head. And I went for my tryout, and little did I know that was going to change my life too. So that kind of got me more orientated to ministry work, and that took me all around the world. Our clinic is not a place of disease management. People get well. We want people to heal their marriages. We want people to heal their lives, their family. There's probably no greater reward in my life than seeing people come in and their whole life turns around, not just physically, but emotionally, intellectually. We teach them, and then spiritually, they get better, they get stronger.
In a situation where someone feels hopeless, or they feel like they can't, lose that extra weight, or they don't have a sense of self-confidence, he's going to reinstill that in them and give them the hope to carry on.
It's fascinating, and I can't wait to see what the next turn holds.
That Marc is a guy that has really done it all. With a little more work, I'm going to look as good as him too.
Yeah, well, let's just say you're on the right road. But for anyone looking to learn more about how to achieve what's best for your whole body health, visit fmidr.com to set up an appointment with Drs. Marc and Michelle Sherwood.
Something that was always a part of my exercise routine that I'd like to get back into is some tennis.
Oh, well then you're in the right place for that, Stevie, as the LaFortune Park Tennis Center has become one of the best facilities in this part of the country.
Ooh, I have to decide if I want to be John McEnroe or Bjorn Borg.
Why don't we find out next? So we return with more Explore Tulsa.
Hi, Dr. Robert Zellner here. For over 20 years, I've offered affordable, convenient eye care in Tulsa. Right now, you can get one pair of glasses or contact lenses starting at just $99, or my two-pair deal for $129. Hey, and as always, the eye exam's included. Walk-ins are always welcome. Glasses are ready in about an hour. Plus, we have over 2,000 frames to choose from. We're open 7 days a week. Come see why we're voted Tulsa's best. And our drive-thru at 69th and Memorial makes pickup simple and easy. For the best eye care value in Tulsa, Dr. Robert Zellner and Associates.
Gluten-free, organic, natural, whole grain, all words used by marketers to make you believe you're buying healthy food.
Even when the product isn't necessarily good for you.
But there's an easy fix. Instead of believing what's in front of you, turn it around and read the label. Find out what's really in the product.
Our goal is to eliminate sugars, grains, and breads from our diet. Start by eliminating sugar and grains one day each week.
Each day without sugar and grains is one day closer to a healthier you.
Visit our website to find our free glycemic index food chart to learn how specific carbohydrates affect your body.
Hi there, glad you made it back for more Explore Tulsa.
So Trish, you should never fall in love with a tennis player.
Really? Why?
Yeah, to them, love means nothing. 30 love, 40 love, get it? Zero.
Well, it seems to be working out just fine for Melissa and David McCourtney. They found love on the tennis court, and that love has proven to be a real winner for the LaFortune Park Tennis Center.
Yes, 1983, October of 1983, we met down here beside Court 7.
I was actually running around the LaFortune Park, and I was already a tennis player, and he was playing in a tournament here at LaFortune.
So when she walked up, she was coming from running. I was waiting to play another match here, and we started talking. I said, well, let's get together and run sometime. So that kind of started it up.
Well, I started liking tennis when I was a young kid, and I learned how to play in a public park. I'd ride my bicycle down to the courts and watch people play. My parents ended up getting me some lessons there at the park, some low-cost lessons, and just kind of went from there.
Melissa and David, they just embody this whole facility. They are likable. They are great managers of the parks, our LaFortune Park, and people just like them. They're nice people. They're great tennis players.
My husband and I work together, and it's been a very good fit for us. He's the accountant, and he's also the maintenance man around here, so we always tease because we're kind of in two different departments. He does all the outside kind of things, or the behind the scenes kind of thing, where I get all the glory and recognition as in my job.
I did 30 years of accounting. She did 20 years of elementary education. We both coached at Sand Springs High School, and then a good friend recruited us to come here in 2003.
So when I first came here, the facility consisted of 12 courts, and they were pretty run down. So we just started building programs and developing kids and adult programming, and realized that we wanted to keep it up, and our numbers started growing right away. So the fundraising began right away to add more courts and repair the existing ones we had, and we knew we needed a building, and then indoor courts was the last thing to come. Well, to get kids interested today, it's mostly just fun. Make them have fun at the beginning, and don't make it real difficult, don't make it too boring, you know, and just try to find ways that entertain them, and then hopefully you'll hook the ones that really like it, and they'll keep going on forward.
Gosh, here at LaFortune we have everything. We have so many people that are new to the game, and they are extremely fun to work with because they are what we call just raw. They don't know the first thing about the game, but they want to play, and this is the place to do it because we have so many of those people.
Well, one of the things we do good with our adult programming is we have a lot of just drop in. You know, we don't make them sign up for a lot of things at a time, so they can just come and pay a fee and play for a short amount of time, 1 hour or an hour and a half. And that's been a good way to lure people in and then to get them hooked on the game. And it doesn't take much from there to really get them wanting to play leagues and get more involved in other kind of tournaments and activities.
The tennis program at LaFortune Park Tennis is the largest, I would say the largest in Missouri Valley. We have more USTA League members than any other country club, park, district for that matter in Missouri Valley.
Yes, we have our little Smashers tournaments for 10 and under. And then we have what's called the Juniors Challenger Circuit, which is beginners. And then we have the Junior Champs tournaments, and that's the Elite Advanced. Then we have some section tournaments. That's Missouri Valley. We're in the Missouri Valley section. That's comprised of 5 states, and people come from all over.
You know, that's one of the best things about our sports, that you can play from 4-year-olds to 99. And then you have to take breaks in between because of this life experiences that happen, and you can always come back to tennis. It's one of those things that will always come back to you as long as you're healthy, and maybe even do it at a little bit moderate than you did as you were young. But it's just a great sport that you can play for all of your life at some level, whichever works for you.
Melissa and David have done some amazing work. Plus, to learn from a pro like Tim Leos, who has played as and coached national champions, it's fantastic for any tennis player.
To get started playing, taking lessons, or get into league or tournament play, visit LaFortuneTennis.com.
For me, my tennis training isn't complete until I experience a treat of the cold, creamy kind.
Then you're in luck, because next up we stop at Oklahoma's only micro creamery, the Rose Rock Creamery at the Box Yard, when Explore Tulsa continues.
We do podiatry, we do dental oral appliances, we do women's health, we see children, pediatrics, and overall family care.
I'm a primary care provider for SoonerCare. We're also taking commercial insurances now as well. Any given day, I might do a well child on a 4-day-old baby, and then see a 72-year-old who's here because they need to follow up on their sleep study.
Patients seem to like the idea where they can just come here and they don't have to worry about going to all these different specialists, whether they need a sleep study or a CPAP machine or diabetic shoes or an oral appliance. We help bring all that to the table for them.
And especially with oral appliances, custom fit by a specially trained dentist, and we have Dr. Bennett, who's the best in the business.
It has been my dream to be able to work with all the specialties together. There are not many places in the United States that have all parts of this together. To me, it's amazing, and that's truly how sleep and patient care should be.
I hope you'll agree with me, warmer months mean cooler treats.
I'll second that, Stevie. Hey, did you ever learn how to make your own ice cream?
I sure did, in Sunday school.
Oh, brother. Well, two guys at ASAC class have to be Rose Rock Creameries, Scott Edwards and Jason Decker.
When you get into it, it's almost like crafting a good wine. You have a taste in the beginning, a taste in the middle, a taste at the end, and you learn how to identify those different tastes. So when we do a sage salted pecan, that's a nice smooth cream, there's the pecans, and then on the back end, all of a sudden, like, oh, there's sage, and you don't expect that. So finding out how your body identifies those flavors and being able to just exploit that and have a good customer experience. He probably knows more about ice cream right now than anybody in Tulsa. He's been to different university course studies on ice cream. We've both been through operations school with ice cream, so it is definitely a challenge for us. We want to know everything behind how to make the best ice cream possible.
So when we first started this concept, I was thinking about doing liquid nitrogen. So I know Scott has this great knowledge of just engineering aspects, and so I wanted to get his input and thought. So I called him one day and said, hey, I need your help with something. And we went to lunch, and he kind of looked at me like I was an idiot. You know, what are you talking about? And what are you going to do with ice cream? And then as we kind of went through it, he's like, hey, this sounds like fun. I think I'd like to do it with you. And I'm like, okay, well, let's go. Let's have some fun with it.
So I actually still have a day job. So I run a heat exchanger company here in Tulsa, and I'm a mechanical engineer by degree, and so I've always just been fascinated with the refrigeration process and heat exchangers in general, and then just having a little bit of fun. Jason and I have known each other for a long time. We worked together in a previous life, I guess, and we were trying to find a way to make the best ice cream we could. We started out with liquid nitrogen ice cream. We played around with it. We were playing with liquid nitrogen trying to make ice cream, but we just couldn't get to the quality that we wanted. Yeah, we were experimenting with different kinds. We kind of upgraded to custard, and we played around with that a little bit, but we couldn't quite get the texture and the feel that we wanted. So we kept looking for better and better ways to make ice cream. Finally, we wound up with what we call super premium ice cream. So it is a high butter fat. It's a very dense ice cream, but we think it has a great texture, a great mouthfeel, and wonderful flavors. There was a little bit of that, especially in the liquid nitrogen days. Oh goodness, it was a lot of fun. but it is a lot of experimentation in the kitchen at home, up here in the shop. So it's fun. We create stuff. Jason's great at coming up with oddball flavors and just trying to make something pair with it and make a good product. And we're not always successful, and sometimes we have to start over. But it's a lot of fun. It's a fun process.
I make everything to my palate, and then I get feedback people, and I adjust it accordingly. And some people say, oh, it needs more. Some people say it needs less. And I kind of just take the aggregate of it and say, what is that? What do I need to do with it? So on this new one I made, I kick down the spice a little bit because people will always try it, but it's, do you want a whole scoop of it? And I get a taste of it, it's very, but if you don't buy it, then I'm putting too much weight on the other flavors. So what I want to be able to do is have a cabinet that is balanced so that we're not making cookies and cream and salted caramel every day, that we have a good variety. I mean, some of the things we really get excited about is our vegan options. We have a vegan chocolate that I would tell anybody is probably one of the best chocolate ice creams you'll ever have, and it's made with coconut milk.
The store's given us a great sense of accomplishment. You know, when someone comes in, we're trying to make their experience the best possible, and it's just amazing. Social media has been a great outlet for us just to see the comments come back and say, hey, we loved your ice cream. It was a great experience. We really enjoyed it. I never thought I'd like that flavor, but it was amazing. It just, every time we get something like that, it's very gratifying, and we're just very appreciative of people and giving their feedback to us and letting us do what we love.
I have learned that I love me some sorbet. Makes my ice cream sound a little more classier.
That it does, Stevie. To learn more about the flavors or to host an ice cream social, visit roserockmicrocreamery.com.
What other kind of treat can a Tulsans skillfully create and turn into a masterpiece.
Ooh, roasted coffee sounds pretty good to me right now.
Then we're off to where they make coffee dreams come true at Robin's Roast Coffee Shop next when more Explore Tulsa comes up.
Why are we in spacesuits?
We are traveling to the future where TVs have a contrast range between 400 nits of brighter whites and blacks as deep as 0.4 nits and 10-bit color. It gives us over 1 billion individual colors on the screen.
Video Revolution already has tomorrow's TVs today with the best in Sony high dynamic range TVs.
TVs with contrast and color offering more natural, true-to-life colors?
Oh yes, Video Revolution now and in the future on the northwest corner of 71st and Lewis.
I am here to testify. I know plenty of wonderful people that if they don't have their coffee first thing in the morning, nobody should have to succumb to that form of torture.
Well, and I always say the better the coffee, the better the mood.
And our next stop should have you jumping for joy at the Riverwalk in Jinx. Steve Williams took his hobby and turned it into a coffee drinker's happy place.
It wasn't until I was in the service and everybody drank coffee, you had to just stay awake for the long hours. But there was one point, you know, in the craze of the fine coffee explosion, where I was working a late night and a friend had a bag of home roasted beans. And I thought, well, geez, I'd like some, you know, keep me awake, and bet you they taste pretty good. Well, I bought some and I ended up going, boy, I bet you I could do better than this. They didn't taste real good to me. So that started my coffee venture as well over 10 years ago. And so I bought my first coffee roasting. It was a little tabletop coffee roaster and started doing that, and it kept growing and spending more money. And so finally my wife told me, it's like, well, you either got to quit your hobby or start selling some coffee. We were fortunate that a local company took us on, and we began our commercial venture about 10 years ago. And what I found was you can have the best coffee, you can buy the most expensive coffee you have, but honestly, it's then customer, and that's what makes it right or not. Now, as a roaster, we try and bring out the best flavor of each particular bean, whether, you know, from whatever origin that we get it from, Sumatra, Mexican, Guatemalan, etc. We only roast when we get orders, so it's always fresh. We educate our customers, whether they're companies or just people walking in, you know, how a bean process works, the degassing, the flavor differences in it. But mostly it's just getting to know the customer's taste. And we can narrow that down to where they get really what they want, more than anywhere else. I've found that there's something else about roasting and this coffee business that I love and I'm very passionate about. It's where do we get our coffee beans from? We buy as much as possible coffees directly from farms. The reason that makes me so passionate about that is we get it from a company that sources it from women-owned businesses. The farms and farmers work extremely hard in very destitute locations, and I mean, they can work all day and pick beans all day for maybe $1. What happens a lot of times, they'll either need something to start their crop, or when their crop is over and they're ready to sell, people will hold off buying it. And so they get desperate, so they have to take a lower price. Our Nicaraguan coffee, we buy from El Recreo. They used to have 20 families, now they have 40 families living on their farm. Well, they built a schoolhouse, and that was the first time they had that. And it's not just for the people on their farm, but it's for their neighboring farmers. We support that, and we give them a very good price, so part of our money that we pay goes to help pay for that, and that's what we focus on. So when people come to us and they drink the Nicaraguan coffee, I hope that they know they're connected with that farm. you really just can't imagine how life is difficult for them. And so, if we can build up something that does help them, that gives meaning to us in this whole effort, and that's what keeps us going.
I really like the fact that Steve works with coffee growers not only as a business transaction, but also with the consideration of how to impact their lives too.
To learn more about Steve and the coffee he serves, or how to take part in open mic night, visit robinsroastcoffee.wixsite.com.
Did you hear about the hipster that burned his tongue?
No, how did he burn his tongue?
He drank his coffee before it was cool, man.
Stick around, there's more Explore Tulsa just ahead.
Take charge of your health. We are what we put into our bodies.
We approach medicine from a unique standpoint. Rather than treating only the symptoms of an illness, we work to find the root cause and promote wellness of the entire body.
Our clinic offers complete assessment and treatment programs, including hormone replacement therapy, osteopathic manipulative therapy, and genetic DNA testing. It all starts with a medical evaluation.
Contact us today to begin your path to wellness.
Sony and Video Revolution take you there. From space travel to world championships. Tomorrow's technology today. 4K smart TVs and the largest flat screens available. Now more than ever, you have the best seat in the world when history is made. Video Revolution. On the northwest corner, 71st and Lewis.
Hi, I'm Ken Tracy, Executive Director of Corgus Productions, and you are watching Explore Tulsa.
Be sure and join us next week when we join the Child Care Resource Center on top of the town.
Special thanks to Dr. Marc Sherwood for pouring his heart into his work, helping folks at the Functional Medical Institute.
Thanks too to Melissa and David McCorkey for all they do to make tennis great at the LaFortune Park Tennis Center. And thanks to Scott Edwards and Jason Decker for bringing us some yummy treats at the Rose Rock Creamery.
Also thanks to Steve Williams for making his brew available for all of us to enjoy at Robin's Roast Coffee Shop.
Remember, if you miss any of the show, you can always catch us at exploretulsa.com.
As always, each week we feature the people, places, and attractions that make us proud to call Tulsa our home.
And hey, don't forget to like us on Facebook and share with us someone you think Tulsa should know more about.
Plus, remember, Explore Tulsa is brought to you by Video Revolution, located on the northwest corner of 71st and Lewis.
Stop by, say hello to Ron and all the guys for all your home entertainment needs.
And Explore Tulsa is also proudly brought to you by Dr. Robert Zellner and Associates.
Home of Tulsa's best eye care value with 2 locations, 3030 South Harvard and 69th and Memorial.
And we welcome our newest sponsors, Drs. Marc and Michelle Sherwood at 61st and Sheridan.
Remember, your journey to whole body healing and wellness begins with the Functional Medical Institute.
Well, that's all the time we have for you on this week's show, but we'll see you next week right here on Explore Tulsa.